Listen, I am not lying to tell you. If nobody who's sitting here tonight cannot say they're not proud. They're not proud to be a PNM. And you see what we just saw on this stage is what the People's National Movement has on offer for this country. Young man, I salute you for what you just brought to this platform. And that is why Trinidad and Tobago, we are the People's National Movement. Brothers and sisters, allow me, I know the protocols have been established, but allow me, of course, to recognize our Honourable Prime Minister who is on his way. Of course, all the distinguished members of our head table, the Grand Dame of the PNM, Mama Joan as I call her, Mr. Indar Parasram. Clearly, Mr. Parasram, you're mashing up the place down in Siparia, so you deserve a round of applause. Of course, all those who are present here tonight and those who are paying attention, watching us via the airways. You know, let me share a very brief personal story with you. I must say Siparia is very, very close to my heart because you may not know, but my Nana, which is my mother's father, his entire generation is from this beautiful, newly minted borough. And as a matter of fact, my Nana was a practicing pundit in Faizabad, and nearly our entire generation still that generation still lives in Mendez village in Siparia. So of course Siparia is very, very close to my heart. It's the first time I'm here in this capacity, of course, but it gives me great pleasure to stand on this platform and bring greetings to you all. You know, brothers and sisters, in deciding when you have to actually deliver a message, it's very different to me as opposed to chairing a meeting, because it's where you now have to focus on what is the messaging and what is the message that you want to leave to the people who are gathered here tonight. And there are three general areas, because I know Boss Lady across there will give them a note if I run out of time. But there are three basic messages that I want, or areas of focus that I want to pay attention to tonight. The first one I want to briefly look at, of course, is the UNC's campaign strategy during the course of this election. That's one. Two, I want to look at the impact of local government reform on the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, especially since two of our candidates here tonight focused, very young, very, very young candidates. They focus on what, in their presentation, on what local government reform will mean to the youth. And finally, and that's where we'll bring some fire to this platform, why it is necessary for all of us to go out on August 14th and support the People's National Movement. Now, brothers and sisters, the first thing that I said I want to focus on is the UNC's campaign. And that is important. The narrative that the UNC is pushing is critical for us to understand, because all we have heard about throughout the length and breadth of the UNC's campaign in a local government election is about crime and criminality. And the question is crime a serious issue? My answer to that is yes. But my question to the UNC, who of course is looking at us tonight, show me one solution you have offered to this country, or you have offered to the government, how to deal with crime and criminality in this country during your election campaign. Brothers and sisters, open your eyes and pay attention. We big and we all have sense. If you look at the length and breadth of what the UNC has been promoting, other than focusing on all the criminal activities that has been happening, and of course the Honourable Prime Minister a few days ago spoke about on a national platform about what their focus is going to be. They're going to use social media, they're going to show graphics, they're going to come at us and remind us about crime and criminality. But tell me, apart from identifying the problem, what solution have you brought to us as the right sober thinking? And notice I say sober because a lot of them, we know they're not sober. right? What is the messaging? What is the solution you have brought? And my answer to that is only two I could have found. One was stand your ground legislation, which I saw the Prime Minister dealt with today in an interview. And the other one I heard is that the opposition leader, the political leader of the UNC stated that she's going to support gated communities. Now, mind you, when we had COVID, remember their solution to COVID was what? Build a dome around Trinidad. So I'm not sure if the solution to crime is build dome around every region or every community. Brothers and sisters, that is what the UNC has on offer for crime and criminality. The Prime Minister would have gone through today, I heard him in his interview, about why we are not in a position to support stand your ground legislation. And of course, on top of that, they are fighting for stand your ground in a local government election. Which councillor have the power to bring stand your ground legislation, even if, God forbid, the UNC wins an election, a local government election? Which councillor has the power to bring stand your ground legislation? Absolutely none. To bring stand your ground legislation, you know who you will rely upon? The government of the day to bring forward that legislation, brothers and sisters. So when they come and they talk stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, what? Ms. Prasad says, you stand your ground and understand that the PNM controls the majority in the parliament. And as long as we are here, we will not support stand your ground unless the evidence shows otherwise. Brothers and sisters, that is what the UNC has on offer. The second thing, and that's why my contribution tonight is focused on issues. The second thing that the UNC has on offer for protecting our communities through a local government election is, of course, what I mentioned before. They will allow gated communities. They will support gated communities. In doing that and in presenting to you, so they talk about gated communities. Have you seen anywhere the opposition speak to who will pay for these gated, because a gated community is not just BRAPs. You put a gate in front of every community and you lock it down. There is a mathematics, there is policy that goes behind gated communities. And those of you who have sat in council know that you can't just gate community like you're crazy. There's a process that you have to go through. Has the UNC put on offer to this country any policy, any explanation? If that's the big, because that's the big thing, right? Gate the communities. Have you heard from any member of the UNC any solution as to who's going to pay for these gated communities? Who will guard the gates? Because that's another real issue. What about the service of regional corporations in these communities? If you lock down these communities and you gate them in, is it that you are saying that you're now removing these communities from the protection and the ambit of local government and regional corporations? Because you're locking them down. Is it that you're removing it from the vesting order that gives corporations the power to go into communities and clean their drains and service their roads and all of that? Tell us, Ms. Bissessa. You have all the lawyers in the world, all of them bright. They claim to be bright. But up until this point, I have heard them speak about gating communities. I've heard them speak about standing your ground. But there is no substance to their argument. And that is why I say to you, Trinidad and Tobago, do not be fooled in the coming days ahead. They will flood your social media with images, graphic images of crime and criminality in this country. But I'm asking especially the young people in this country, the young people and the new voters and the undecided voters of this country, do not fall for that gimmick put forward by the United National Congress. Say to them, if you come with a problem, then show me the solution. And up until today, I am yet to see, coming out from a UNC platform, any solution to crime. You know what is the UNC record, brothers and sisters? And sitting in the office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs, this is the benefit we have, of course, going through the Hansards and all that. You want to know what the UNC has done for crime in this country. Let me tell you what, I looked at the Hansard dated the 6th of July 2022 from the Senate. That is when we brought the bail amendment, the extension of the duration bail amendment bill. We had 6 all senators, all opposition senators voted against that legislation. Is that an opposition that cares about crime and criminality in this country? If we look at the bail amendment, bill number 2, 2019, every single, this is taken from the Hansard record, the 19th of November 2019, every single opposition senator voted against that bail amendment. Trinidad and Tobago, they come to us and they talk about protecting and then they want to, they are worried about crime. The Hansard, the records reflect, dated the 1st of July 2016. This is in the miscellaneous provision anti-gang bill, which was the government's attempt to break the back on gangs that exist in Trinidad and Tobago so that we could protect our young boys. We could get them off the streets and get them away from gangs and criminal elements in their community. You know what is the UNC record? The UNC record is that there was a division, of course, and we had 22, which was the government bench, voting. This is in the House of Representatives voting for, and we had 18 members of the UNC against that legislation. That is the legislation, if you go into the crux of it, and that's why I say tonight, it's not just about fire, it's about facts. And it's about the young people in this country. I saw a lot of young people supporting. That is why you have to go out there, wear your red t-shirt and spread the PNM message. And let the UNC know, don't come wrong me with old talk. Because your record in the parliament reflects that you have never supported, you have never given support for any piece of legislation that this government has piloted that truly could have, had we passed those pieces of legislation, that it could have brought substantive change to our country. And I could go on, brothers and sisters. I could go on to the Interception of Communication Act. Again, in the Senate, you have the 6 of them voting against. Same thing in the House of Representatives. You have the 12 of them. They're voting against it again in the House of Representatives. So, brothers and sisters, that was one of the first issues that very briefly I wanted us to focus on, which is the issue of crime. Because that is the narrative that the UNC have been putting forward. Brothers and sisters, as we look to local government reform, we have many speakers who will get in again into what local government reform will bring to this country. I want to remind you again, coming from the office which I come from, there are parts and elements of the miscellaneous provision bill. When we brought the legislation to reform local government, there is a section 35I. There is section 35, there is also section 35H. There are different sections in that legislation that speaks to the role that local government is going to play in the lives of the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I ask the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, those especially who will be voting for the first time, now more than ever, we need you all to come out there and we need you to vote. We need you to bring your friends out to vote. And yes, I know Madam Chairlady has shown me that my time is about to end. The last thing that I want to end with is, of course, brothers and sisters, why must we vote? The People's National Movement. The people of Trinidad and Tobago. We are who? We are the People's National Movement. And I say to you, for those of them who are sure watching me and waiting tomorrow, tick-tock, tick-tock goes the clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock, on August 14, that clock will stop. And when that happens, we need to ensure that the PNM brothers and sisters, that the PNM comes out and on the top. So I say to you, work and support our 141 warriors non-stop. Give them a round of applause. They will be coming to you in every creed and every race. Brothers and sisters of Trinidad and Tobago, the PNM is better than all the rest. Trinidad and Tobago, because we at the PNM are certainly the best. And I say to you, go out in your numbers and vote for us. So on the night of August 14, we shall all come together and sing in one united voice. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.